Yeah. Welcome to Go to Gropers with a special guest because Danganronpa isn't letting us play because the internet's out.
The internet's out because there were tornadoes.
It was a tornado.
There were a few in different areas.
That's true.
There was only one in this area.
Yeah, that's the only one I care about.
So this game.
Yes.
I don't really know a whole lot about it. So these are flowers that you pick off this planet that you're trying to. I'm thinking of the first one.
Well, their biology most closely resembles insects.
Right. They're more like insects, but they look like flowers, and I am seeing little daisies. So I'm gonna call them flowers.
Yeah, they do all. Well, we have some mentally challenged leaf boys in the group.
When they eat the honey, then they grow the flowers, and they're faster and they trip less and stuff.
Yeah, they do actually. It is canon that they get smarter when they have flowers. So the leaf boy.
A couple mongoloids.
Yeah, exactly.
So in this one, it looks a little different because you have the little blue guy who's leading and the red guy that you switch to.
Right. You have two captains in Pikmin 2.
Captains, got it.
Yeah.
That's what they're called.
This one's Olimar, and this one is Tucho, I think. Yeah, the present is how he's most normally known.
El Jefe.
Yes. Do you think they can make it past those guys without dying?
Oh yeah, definitely. Those white boys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We talk about white supremacy a lot.
That's because of how good the white Pikmin are.
Well, are they white or blue?
The ones that are carrying the object, they're white.
Yeah.
Those are pink.
No, they're white.
Well, they have pink flowers. Underground Pikmin have or they have pink flowers. Underground Pikmin have pink flowers. All other Pikmin have white flowers.
Oh, I see.
So there's also purple ones, and they have pink flowers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Purples are thick boys.
Yes. They're the most powerful Pikmin.
Why don't you have any?
Fortified delicacy. Because I'm just cleaning up here, and I don't...
I'm sorry, was that called a delicacy?
Yes.
There are delightful names for the treasures in this game.
Yeah, because this is actually post-apocalyptic Earth.
Is it?
And you're from a planet called Hokotate. Is that how it is?
Hokotate?
I believe so. I know it's the Hokotate.
What's vacation there?
Well, everyone is the size of like a penny, so you'd probably be like a natural disaster or something.
Or an unnatural disaster.
I wonder how big the planet is, Hokotate.
That's a good question. If it's as big as Earth and they're just more spread out, these little lads, or...
Right, like...
Probably the size of Pluto.
They probably have similar...
Which is a planet.
Well, no, I'm thinking in terms of gravity. They would have to have... If it was the size of Pluto, they wouldn't be used to Earth's gravity, so they would be struggling to move. And as you can see, he's not struggling to move at all.
Wow, you sound like MatPat.
Except I use, facts and logic to back up my argument.
So does he.
He uses jumps in...
He uses jumps when he's trying to tell you the story.
Because he's...
When it comes down to the science, he mostly tries to... And if he's going to make a jump, he says, here, we're jumping this one because it makes the most sense cohesively.
He leaves out a lot of stuff, too, which...
To make his videos under the time limit so that
No, not even that. He leaves out stuff to keep his points valid, because there are things that disprove his points that are canon to games that he doesn't mention, because he wants to, present his argument as whatever, and, it's fine. I mean, like, I just don't think, if you want the actual, logic and science and everything behind it, he isn't always the most reliable source, because he is just trying to tell a story. Basically.
Which is what I'm there for.
Okay, good for you. I would rather know the factual information.
But the factual information doesn't make sense, so you could be in chapter 1 of a story of a game, and it's going to be one thing, but chapter 2 is going to be another, because the facts add up to two different things. I would rather have one cohesive story, because these indie creators especially, like Bendy and the Ink Machine, they retcon all the time, and so MatPat does skip over those retcons, and even with FNAF, with Scott Cawthon. Scott Cawthon has come out and said he has retconned things, and he has tried to hint at it through his theory. So when MatPat says, okay, we're going to assume that this is what he retconned, he's guessing, because Scott Cawthon doesn't tell you. It's a guessing game.
FNAF is stupid anyways.
It is. Well, yes, okay. It is stupid, but it's a really fun story. I would never play the games, but it's definitely a fun story to listen to.
We could recreate the bite of 87 on our YouTube channel.
The bite of 87?
I love the bite of 87.
Indeed.
It's my favorite bite in all of history.
A bite of 83.
Yes. Is it 83? I thought it was 87. Or is there 2 bites?
There are 2 bites, and one of them is the incorrect date because he had to retcon. That's what I'm saying. He got up and had to change the date, and so there are 2. And so you go with the most recent game.
Let's shift the blame off of MatPat and onto
Scott
shitty game storytellers.
MatPat would appreciate that because he does struggle with these stupid storytellers all the time. But he never calls them that because basically they pay his paycheck because the more games they put out, the more theories he can do, and the more people watch his theories. It all works out for them in the end, and we get some fun, creator differences stuff.
I do enjoy when MatPat can approach things, like, with actual facts. Like, I saw food theory videos were recommended to me, so I was watching the one about supermarket.
His new channel.
Yeah, so I was watching the ones about the supermarket
That's a cool
stuff.
one.
I thought that was very interesting because he actually has psychology in there, and that was very well researched. I just think with the game theories, there's often too little to go on, and he just stretches things out where there isn't really anything that can be done with it, kind of. Like, yeah.
Did you just throw it away? You just threw it away!
Yeah, I think I threw him over here, yeah.
Oh my gosh. One of the food theories is about, some of his videos. I think food theory, the few videos that are up are a really good definition of, like, what he does, because you've got some stuff like that, the psychology of the supermarket, and they're selling you stuff, and he really does do all the research into what that looks like. But then he's got, Kool-Aid Man is an authentic character in the Avengers, and is much more scary than Thanos. Like, the fact that that's real. Like, some of his stuff is fun and ridiculous. But, I mean, he does all that research, too. And guess what? Kool-Aid Man did really show up in a comic one time. Like, that stuff's all there. It's just so ridiculous. And, yeah, he's making a lot of assumptions because it tells a better story. I don't know if he even made assumptions with Kool-Aid Man, because he looked at the commercials.
His assumption was that Kool-Aid Man's power would continue to grow exponentially.
Well,
which is not necessarily an accurate assumption to make.
What are you talking about? I haven't seen this.
Oh my god.
So Kool-Aid Man, he started off as a sentient pitcher, and just a pitcher.
A pitcher?
Yeah.
Oh, like
a pitcher.
A pitcher of water or something, yeah.
Full of Kool-Aid. And so that's all he was. But then he sprouted legs and arms, and then he gained these different abilities. Like, he can teleport between dimensions, and all these abilities. As his marketing has progressed,
hold on.
Gained these
and
different abilities.
Different abilities come from the different commercials that have been made, so they've always appealed to some sort of different thing. But MatPat decided to put it as, okay, he started with this, and then he became this, and then he became this, and now he can do this.
And so there was a Kool-Aid Man comic book that Marvel made in the 70s or something. And I forget. There were some Marvel heroes that did show up in it. I'm pretty sure. I forget which ones exactly, but so it is canon that Kool-Aid Man was in the Marvel comics. So if MatPat was rolling under the assumption that if he continued to grow his powers exponentially like he was, then he would continue to grow to become the most powerful creature in the Marvel universe.
Stronger than Thanos.
Well, Thanos isn't even I think he's top 10 with the Infinity with all the Infinity Stones.
With all the Infinity Stones, and that's what he was comparing to was Endgame. Infinity War.
Yeah.
That was his big contrast, I think. Because I think stronger than that would be Galactus.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of
Galactus
characters that are stronger.
Huge, but
let me pull up ye old Professor Google here on the top 10 strongest characters in the Marvel comics.
Probably Dormammu.
Yeah, I think Dormammu's up there.
Big there.
There's
But he was defeated by trolling.
Death, maybe?
The
Dormammu?
The comics version is different though.
And then
I wouldn't know the comics.
There's some vampire guy who lives in another dimension. he's up there too. I forget what he's called though.
There's God.
Right.
I forget what they call him, but he's like Stan Lee basically is a character that's basically all powerful God.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the most powerful one,
Yeah,
right?
he's like number 1.
Because it's just like the writers basically.
We got number 15 Vulcan, 14 Scar, 13 Odin,
of course.
12 Hercules.
Hercules?
11 Grandmaster, 10 Galactus.
Told you.
Grandmaster
9
Tarkin.
Magus. I don't know like most of these characters. 8
Mikaboshi?
Mikaboshi, 7 Satarak, 6 Phoenix Force, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
5 Franklin Richards,
Who is Franklin Richards?
son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. 4 Eternity, 3 Living Tribunal, 2 Yonder, 1 is the one above all. That's basically
That's
Stanley.
Stanley, yeah.
Yeah.
So who's the Beyonder?
I
Because
don't
that's
know.
the second struck. So if we take out the writers, a mere
Beyonder-
omnipotent and vastly powerful enemy. So strong, all the marvel extra celestials. Wow! They're at his mercy.
Yeah, this doesn't really go into much detail.
Huh.
And this is all subjective too.
Yeah.
Like,
this is
we have
based,
the-
like, yeah.
The fan rankings now. I'm
Oh.
looking at.
And everyone's arguing.
Hulkling.
Hulkling?
Marvel. 17 Captain Marvel. 16 Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
15 Adam Warlock. 14 The Stranger. 13 Galactus. 12 Oblivion. 11 Thanos.
Is Galactus, like... I feel like Galactus is one of the only agreed upon most powerful characters to go into, like, a top 10 list.
Apparently not.
Why?
10 Celestials.
I don't think he has one of the top 10 spots, but, like, if you look at any top 10 list, or any top, like, 20 or 15 or whatever number, like, he's gonna be in there.
Maybe.
Like, he's across the board.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot of repeats in this one. That's
Mhm.
kind of interesting.
9.
Because I think he's the actual largest, like, in physical size, is what I would thought about him.
8
Except for
is
maybe Dormammu, but I don't know about the comic version.
Phoenix Force. 7 is a tie between Lord Chaos and Master Order.
Wait, things are happening in the game.
Yeah, okay. No, he's just going...
Yeah, the day's just ending.
Nothing new. 6 is a
The
tie
days.
between Eternity, Infinity, and Abraxas.
That's not even fair. They have a
Right.
3-way tie.
5 is Living Tribunal. 4 is the Beyonder. 3 is Death.
Aha, I was right.
2 is the one above all. Who's more powerful than the one above all? Protege. Raw potential alone is a childlike god and possesses the ability to mimic any other entity
In
in
existence, even the one above
including-
all.
Yep.
Wow, they actually lost to Protege. That makes sense, though. If you're gonna make the one above all into, like, this epitome writer person, and then you have the Protege who's, like, rising up to that, you expect them to, like, surpass. That's what all the stories do. Like, look at the Sith. It's what they do. And that makes sense. That would make sense to me.
Ye.